Are you ready for this? Are you implying I need to read this? Yes, absolutely. You already know that we are at a crossroads in education. With a shortage of teachers, limited staff, budget next to nothing, no child left behind laws, teachers are stuck in a fishbowl. The entire educational system is extremely outdated. However, we can complain about a broken system all we want, but nothing is going to change until we take a look at ourselves and our role within that system. So then, why aren't we actively reflecting on our teaching practices? What's wrong with how we teach? And what can we be doing to improve? It's time to take a closer look at ourselves. So let's start with, are you asking yourself the right questions? Mini self-evaluation time. Ask yourself, when I teach, am I always in charge? Do I act superior and consequently make my students feel inferior? Am I doing all the talking? Am I the most authoritative voice in the room? Am I always yelling at them or over them? Am I forever organized as perfectly as I can be, or am I micromanaging everything? Do I believe that I'm smarter than my students? When I teach, do I think I'm always right, even when I'm not? People customarily believe they have control of their thinking and thus their behavior, a belief that has proven fantasy, causing untold damage in the lives of all members of the human race. So, are you asking yourself the right questions? Let's try these questions instead. Ask yourself if in your class, is failure viewed as a normal and productive part of the learning process? Is learning spaced out over time rather than crammed into a short period of time? Are distractions during learning normalized? Is the learning practiced often and in a variety of contexts? Is learning playful and fun, especially important when one gets stuck at an impasse? So how did you do? Are you doing any of these in your class? And if not, then you should be ashamed of yourself, or at least slightly ashamed of yourself. But let's be honest, are you kidding yourself? The best part of teaching is that it matters. The hardest part of teaching is that it matters every moment of every day. However, we pile our work misery into a big, mushy lump that we allow to crush us. We try not to make mistakes. All we do is work. Are we burnt out? Are you done? Have you lost the passion you once had? You need to have a thick skin in this business, but you have to be vulnerable too. So what can we do? It's time for a change. The whole system needs to change. But let's start with something we can control. We may not be able to control the circumstances in which we work, but we can change how we choose to function within them. We need to do something because the future is now. The next generation needs a little wit, wisdom, and a stern warning, because without action, you aren't going anywhere. It's time to rebel. And we do that by building better leaders, learners, and thinkers who will then go on to build a better world. Next, one of the biggest issues is the lack of human connection in education. They're not waiting for you to tell them what happened, they want you to tell them what everything means. Education is not filling of a pail, but a lighting of a fire, so color their future. But in order to do that, we must first ask ourselves one of the hardest questions to answer honestly. Who are you? Who are you as a person, as a parent, as a teacher? Finding your voice is by reflecting on your personal experiences. Which brings us back to, who am I as a teacher? And more importantly, who do I want to be? So how do we figure out the answer? We do this through self-reflection and self-study. We do not learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on our experiences. Self-reflection is a humbling process. It's essential to find out why you think, say, and do certain things, and then better yourself for a good cause. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you stand in wisdom. But why is it so damn hard to change? So here's just a thought. What if you chose to repunctuate your life? We all know it's easier to be wise for others and for ourselves. What if we chose to be different? Be blunt, be bolder, be bright, be human, be professional and original. To be smart and then smarter, to be a role model, to be tough yet brilliant, to be forthcoming, to be passionate and unstoppable. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. If you plan for a year, plant a seed. If you plan for 10 years, plant a tree. And if for 100, teach the people. When you sow a seed once, you will reap a single harvest. When you teach people, you will reap 100. So think about it. Ideas start here. So how can you use self-reflection in the classroom? I know the questions are infinite, but the answers start right here. The genius is in the details. The answers, this is a box. This is a box of solutions. Notice it's empty, because it's time to think outside the box. So how do we do that? Can we really create a new generation of thought leaders? We need to relook and to rethink the curriculum. I could suggest that critical reflection begins to occur when people question information, ideas, or behavior that leads to the recognition of a range of subtleties that influence an educational situation. The physical, psychological, social, relational, and personal characteristics of those who are involved in teaching and learning process. So can we really change the world? Of course we can. Progress is everyone's business, but we need to first shift our focus. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. The secret of getting started is breaking your complex of overwhelming tasks into small, manageable ones, and then starting on the first ones. We start by changing ourselves. We have to challenge what's possible and break some of the old rules. We need to see the good in people and help them. We need to participate and collaborate and motivate, and we do that through ambition. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration, so we need to persist. We need to step up and take on the challenges facing our community. We need to innovate, inspire through excellence. Great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together. We need to continue to grow and evolve, because only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one will go. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. We must be willing to do. We need to take care of this moment and not fear mistakes. There are none. This is what using self-reflection in the classroom will look like. Treating everyone as an individual, as unique, and feed the heart and the mind. The more human we become, the more we connect and the better it gets. Realizing that everyone is human. When you learn to know yourself better and to make choices, our students will go further. There is no way for us to be human without other people, so we need to talk and listen and ask questions, share our stories and share our experiences. If you tell me, I forget. If you teach me, I remember. You involve me and I learn. So go further. And that's the only beginning. That's only the beginning. The goal is concrete. The intention has been set, but if I don't stop and reflect, there's no point to it at all. The art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery. The entire object of true education is to make people not merely do the right things, but to enjoy them. Not merely industrious, but to love industry. Not merely learn, but to love knowledge. Not merely pure, but to love purity. And not merely just, but to hunger and thirst after justice. You can discover more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. Nothing ever becomes real until it's experienced, so challenge yourself. When you get a chance, you need to go for it, and you can't accomplish anything worthwhile if you inhibit yourself. We need our kids to dream big and have the aha moments. We should be moving forward, beyond the walls of the classroom. The ultimate goal of educational system is to shift the individual the burden of pursuing his own education. This will not be a widely shared pursuit until we get over our odd conviction that education is what goes on inside the school building walls and nowhere else. No one has yet fully realized the wealth of sympathy, kindness, and generosity hidden in the soul of a child. The effort of every true educator should be to unlock that treasure and help them be their most extraordinary. I don't care who you were, I care who you are, and I'm more concerned with who you are working to become. A master can tell you what he expects of you. A teacher, though, awakens your own expectations. asks you what you really want to do with your life, and it helps you get there by making you responsible for your own choices, to help you choose your future, to let you know that if you know yourself better and make choices, you can make your own choices. Not everyone who wanders is lost, and being lost is not necessarily a bad thing. It challenges you to discover your purpose and your passion. We need to help create independent and original and unique thinkers. We need to have custom-made education programs where we focus not just on their minds, but on the whole person, mind, body, and spirit, and listen to their needs, and always teach with kindness. Of course we can change the world. We can make it happen. We need to speak out for the hope of education, and we may end up actually changing millions of lives, and in the end, humans win. The world is listening. And don't forget to always take a step back and look at the big picture.